Welcome to another live stream. Um, this is kind of unnormal because I usually do these live streams on Sundays, but unfortunately this weekend I am crazy busy, and so I will not be able to do a live stream on Sunday. And I think last week actually I did the same thing where I wasn't able to do a live stream on Sunday, so I actually moved the day again. But I wanted to still do a live stream this week because I have a large stack of movies to talk about. And so, if you are joining me for the first time, let me adjust this a little bit. Um, yes, if you are joining me for the first time, I usually do these live streams on Sundays, but again, just situationally, I have to move it a little bit. Um, but yeah, on these live streams, I usually just talk about movies. I talk about physical media. I talk briefly about the things that I watched over the last week, and yeah, we just any conversation things that are brought up, we talk about. And yeah, so let me know in the live chat if I sound okay. I always double check that every single live stream, but most of the time it is fine. Um, and yeah, I also say if you are watching this on the playback on YouTube, feel free to leave any comments down below in the comment section, and I will get back to you on that. So this week is it's the 11th of the month. So we are a little bit into the Halloween season now. And so, yeah, I hope everybody out there is able to watch some great horror films. I know I have been watching some great horror movies, and so I'm very excited to talk about. Let me bring this down just a little bit. I'm very excited to talk about the movies that I have watched so far this week. I am well in my way of watching my 31 Nights of Horror, and I have uh yeah. So I don't know where I was going with that, but um see, headed home right now. Great way to be on a or on the bus. That's fun. That's awesome. Yes, I hope you get home safely. Let's see, I've picked so much Kyle OMG LOL. Yeah, I feel like for me, I haven't really been buying all that much, but I'm glad you're able to get some stuff. But yeah, I wanted to share with you guys the films that I watched over the last week or so. Again, I think last week or last time I did a live stream, it was like my surprise live stream that um, wasn't I don't know, it wasn't on my normal day. So again, this is also not on my normal day. But um, I should add too, if you are watching for the first time, one of my goals this year is to watch 365 films, not necessarily one every single day, but just that's amount of films throughout the entire year. And I am currently 30 movies away from hitting that goal, which is wild. So I've watched 335 movies this year so far. Which is an insane amount of movies. And so I'm very happy with that goal. But I'm going to talk about the films that I watched this week, starting off on the 5th of the month. So a few days ago, I watched for the first time House of Wax with Vincent Price in it. This is the first time I ever saw this movie, and I liked it. It wasn't quite what I was expecting. I thought it was uh I don't know. It was interesting. I liked it, but in some way, in many ways, I really like the remake of House of Wax. I feel like, you know, these feel like two separate films. I don't feel like they're like that's a remake of this movie or anything. I feel like just basic concepts are, taken into the remake, but um, interesting. Not what I was fully expecting. But yeah, fun movie. It's also a classic movie. So let's see, coolest sealed episode one Star Wars VHS, a movie called Trilogy of Terror, some horror movie. I don't know if you heard of it. It's an Anchor Bay VHS from 2000. It was $5. Looks cool to display. Trilogy of Terror. I have not heard of that, but that sounds interesting. Um, Let's see. Also found the Adam West Batman VHS for $5. Picked it up, and I just found 20 minutes ago the first four Aliens box set from the 2000s DVD. It was $15, a bit pricey, but was worth it for or for collecting. That's awesome. Um, I'm curious on the Alien box set. Is it the Alien quadrilogy or is it like the Alien just I think there's a few different box sets for Alien on DVD. If there's this box set, which I personally really like this set. And then there is the set of when the films are look like this, they have like a silver, like a gray spine to them, and there's like four of these in that set. Um, see, not the quad one. I got that. Gotcha. So is it the ones where they're like individually cased? Um, it was the Fox release. Yes, that one. Gotcha, gotcha. Um, okay, yeah, that's one I don't have. I have all the individual films, but I don't have like the box that they actually go in. I need to get that set because for whatever reason, I'm a big collector of like Alien, like different formats of the Alien franchise. I have them on a few like I have like the CED, I have Laserdisc, I have DVD, Blu-ray, one of the 4Ks. I don't have Aliens on 4K, unfortunately. Um, I have the DVHS tape of um, Alien, which is like technically high definition, but I don't have a player for that, unfortunately. But yeah, I love that franchise. It's definitely one of my favorite franchise out there. Especially those first four are just so like solid. But um, okay, and then so moving on. Um, I watched this on the 6th of the month. Um, I got this from the library because I unfortunately missed seeing this in theaters, and I kind of wish I went to go see it in theaters, but that was Furiosa, a Mad Max saga. Um, really enjoyed the Mad Max Fury Road film, and so this was one that was on my radar for a while. But I really enjoyed this movie. I thought it was very good. Um, I am a big fan of just all the Mad Max films. I feel like they're all just fun. Um, and yeah, I thought I was a little skeptical for this one because it was like, okay, are they just playing into the popularity of Mad Max? But I actually really enjoyed Furiosa. I thought it was a worthwhile sequel. But um, let's see. It could have been called Trilogy of Terror, or Terror Trilogy. I don't know. It's one movie with some hockey killer tiki doll. I noticed the doll looked. Okay, yeah, I'll have to look into that. So that's interesting. I'm not. Um, yeah, I have not. I don't think I've heard of that. But I was actually just talking about Furiosa today and how I was bummed not seeing it in theaters. Yeah, I feel like this would have been. I was very happy because I saw Fury Road in theaters, and that was um, definitely a worthwhile film seeing in theaters. And I feel like this one honestly would have been also worthwhile seeing in theaters. Um, so I wish I saw this in the theater, but um, yeah, I'm glad that at least I was able to see it. I would like to eventually pick up the 4K because this is just the library's copy, but um, yeah, I overall I really liked it. I feel like there was a few things where it's like we didn't need explained, but like kind of like it's like, oh, that's how she lost her arm, or oh, that's how, why she has the black on her head. Like, oh, that's why. Like, it's just like a few small things like that, small details that are over explained. And I feel like that is unfortunately just kind of like what happens with like prequel material is like, I mean, Star Wars is very guilty of that, but it just, it's like, oh, that's how that happens. Like, this answering questions that nobody was asking. But I mean, overall, I thought it was still like it was beyond those little side things. I thought it was a fun film. But box set is called Alien Legacy set. Yes, I know which set you're talking about. I have the same one on, but it's like a same artwork, but it's the VHS version. It's up in the rafters, or also grab it. But um, yeah, I have the same box set, but the VHS one. But I would love to get the DVD set eventually. Um, so then on the 6th as well, I watched my 31 Nights of Halloween movie of choice was Texas Chainsaw Massacre: The Beginning. This was at least the second time seeing this. Maybe it was the third time. It's been a, I mean, I've definitely seen this before. It might have been the third time I've seen this, but um, yeah, not as good as the 2003 remake, but I mean, overall, I thought it was just like it's fine. I mean, I mean, again, not my first time seeing, but um, definitely not the weakest of the Texas Chainsaw Massacre movies by any means. But yeah, I mean, overall, I enjoyed it. I enjoy the Texas Chainsaw Massacre films. I feel like they're fun. Um, let's see. I also found Fright Night on DVD. It's impossible to find, never seen it, and the first Carrie on DVD, another one impossible to find. Interesting. Yes, I have Fright Night on DVD, I believe. Let's see. Um, maybe, but um, yes, I have the first Fright Night on DVD, and I think I have Carrie on Blu-ray. Um, I think yeah, that's one that I have on a Blu-ray over with my Brian De Palma films. But yeah, that's awesome. That's I love that first Carrie movie. I think it's so well done. But next up on my list, on the 7th of the month, I actually went to the theater and watched Megaopolis. So if you follow me over on Instagram, that is what the movie I was seeing in the theaters was seeing Megaopolis, which is the Francis Ford Coppola film. It's his newest movie. And which honestly, this is the first time this has ever happened to me, but I was the only one in the movie theater. So I had the whole place to myself. It was so much fun. It was like, it was a movie that I really wanted to see in theaters. I feel like seeing it in on a big screen would have enhanced the experience, and I'm very glad that I did. The film itself has had a lot of mixed reviews, but personally, I mean, I should say I stayed away from all the reviews or all the videos talking about it, or so I pretty much went in knowing nothing about it. I think I saw like one trailer for it, but I went in knowing virtually nothing about it, and I really, really liked it. I thought it was a very interesting film with a lot of interesting ideas. Um, and after learning more of the history behind Francis Ford Coppola making it and kind of what he went through to make it, it's a very fascinating stuff. There's some very interesting stuff behind the scenes going on with the film, but yeah, I personally really enjoyed it, and I'm very excited to watch it again. Um, but after that, the theater experience, I came home and watched the film. Let's see. Um, can you accept my follow request? I don't know why it sent a request when you're public. I haven't been on Instagram for in 3 to 4 years, although I sent DM of a Criterion movie. I don't know if you've seen, I forgot the name, but I sent pic. Um, yes, let's see, it was in the wild. I didn't get it, but it seemed cool for was $2. Yes, after this, I'll go on Instagram, and I might have missed your request. It shouldn't. I feel like it shouldn't have a request um thing because I the Kyle's movie collection is public, but yes, I'll go in and find you. But so on the 7th of the month, I also watched the movie Urban Legend. So this is a movie that I kind of recently picked up. Um, and I think last Halloween I actually watched the sequel, not realizing that there was a movie before that. And I really enjoyed this. I thought it was a fun, slasher, and, I mean, I'm also a big fan of slasher films, so I mean, overall, I mean, parts were a little, um and I almost, like, could figure out who the killer was before, the big reveal, but overall, I mean, I really enjoyed it. I feel like it's a classic from the early 2000s. I believe it's from early 2000s, 98, so late 90s, but or 2006. 98? There's 2 different dates on here. Um, but either way, it seems like it has that early 2000s aesthetic for, or late 90s aesthetic for, slashers. So I really enjoyed that one. And then on the 8th of the month, I decided to watch. This is a another one from the library that I got. I stopped in at the library and I picked up 4 titles, and thankfully I was able to watch all of them. I think one of them I talked about last live stream, which was a Mad God, but um, this is one that I have seen the other films in this franchise, and this was the only one that I have not seen, except now there's a newer one, but that is VHS 85. Um, and these are definitely, I feel like people either love these or hate these films. I kind of fall somewhere in between. I love some of the sequences within them. Some of them are a little boring in my opinion. Some of them are just like not very interesting. I love the idea of the VHS franchise where it's kind of like, each director is able to make something kind of unique. So I don't know. I Overall I liked it. It was definitely not the worst VHS movie out there, but yeah, VHS 85. Um, see, I also got The Exorcist on VHS. Um, Hard to find here in Canada. LOL, was happy to get it, but the Phantom Menace sealed. I couldn't believe it was sealed. And see, okay, thanks, and I love the shirt. Best Nightmare movie. Yes, this is a new shirt of mine. A Nightmare on Elm Street 3. I found it at a thrift shop. So it's technically a couple sizes too big, but it fits me like perfectly. So I'm happy with it. Especially it was only like $3. So I feel like I never come across horror T-shirts at the thrift shop. So I was very happy about that. Um, but let's see, on the 8th of the month, my 31 Nights of Halloween movie was the film Little Shop of Horrors. Um, and this is the original, I watched it in black and white, like the original version of it. It is technically colorized, at least this Blu-ray is. Um, but the black and white version is from 1960. I think it was colored in 2006, but I decided to watch it like the original way that it was filmed, and overall, I liked it. I went in knowing nothing about it. It's definitely cheesy. It's a very cheesy movie. I don't even. You could argue that this isn't even a um, what's it called? You could argue that this isn't even a horror movie. You could almost argue this is just a comedy. But there are technically horror elements, and so I also put it in the horror section because it's Little Shop of Horrors. I don't know. But it's funny because it's like featuring Jack Nicholson. That's like all over the back or on the cover, and in the back there's a photo of Jack Nicholson. He plays such a small um the such a small role. And so I'm just like, I don't know. I feel like they were definitely trying to use Jack Nicholson's star power to sell this movie. I believe this is not directed by Roger Corman, but produced by Corman or directed by. Yes, yes. So, um, I mean, it's definitely a cheesy film from the '60s, but overall, I thought it was fun. I probably won't be watching it anytime soon, but yeah. And then let's see. Let me grab a sip of my coffee quickly. So I don't have anywhere to put my coffee besides on the floor. So I need to get like a little table or something in here. Um, the next movie I watch, I'll get to these. I've seen a couple comments pop up, but I'll get to the comments here in a second after a couple more movies. So this is a movie that I watched this on the 9th of the month, and this is the last library movie that I got. This is one that I wish I saw in theaters now, but fascinating movie. A very, very weird movie that I was not anticipating at all. I knew nothing about this going into it except that it was kind of like artsy in a way, but that is the movie Poor Things. Um, yeah, I knew nothing about this, and it is fascinating. It's beautifully shot. It's like a mixture of black and white and color, and almost like surreal, background sometimes, and like in this weird, almost like sci-fi world. Like very, very interesting film. And yeah, fascinating film, and I really enjoyed this one. I kind of want to like pick it up on Blu-ray, which yeah, it was. I saw it at the library, and I was excited because I've been wanting to check it out. But um, yeah, the coloring in this movie especially is very unique. It was also kind of long. It was 142 minutes long, which is I feel like longer for modern day movies. But um, let's see. Let me get to some of these comments. I also got a Cult of Thorn tattoo, same as Halloween 5, but better quality. I had to for Halloween time. That's awesome. Um, Also, I spent $99 from Spirit Halloween. I got a life-size Chucky doll from Universal Studios. It's so cool. I'm so happy to have it in, or have it. It was something I've wanted since I was 12, LOL. Exactly the same as a Chucky doll from the movies. That's interesting. Yes, so I actually walked through a Spirit Halloween for the first time this season yesterday. And I thought it was like it's been several years since I've been in the Spirit Halloween, but I just wanted to buy everything. Unfortunately, I'm not really a costume person. I wanted all of the decorations and all of the fun like um I don't know, like the different like animatronics or like the different like I mean they had all the different doormats, they had blankets and just like signs and all kinds of just like fun stuff that I'm like, I just want to get all of this for my movie room. But yeah, I could easily see myself spending way more money in there than I wanted. I didn't buy anything when I was there, but yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff that I feel like I would like to go back to the Spirit Halloween this season. Maybe grab a couple things. I don't know. But knowing the plot of Joker 2, holy crap, not saying anything for spoilers, but it's not this uh, masterpiece. The Joker 2, like Halloween ends. I've heard, yeah, I've pretty much heard nothing but negative for Joker 2. Um, and I probably won't be seeing it in theaters. I mean, I might see it when it comes out. But yeah, I've heard a lot of like negative stuff for Joker 2. But I am curious because I mean, I also should say I wasn't a huge fan of Joker 1. I thought it was just okay, but um yeah, I'll probably maybe see it when it comes out on disc, but let's see. The doll was the same price as the license mask, like a Rob Zombie Halloween mask, was $90. Uh, I want that stuff for my room, but not as or at the price. Yes, that was something that I kind of noticed too. Some of the pricing was a little high for certain items, um, but uh, yeah. I would like to maybe check out another Spirit Halloween. I feel like the one I was at felt very small. It was in a smaller venue, and so maybe have to go to one of those that are like taking up like a huge like store. But next up, I watched on the 9th of the month. I watched the movie Hellfest. Um, this was the first time I watched this movie, and I really enjoyed this one. I thought it was actually a lot of fun. and it kinda had, like, a very, very basic premise, but a very interesting premise. Um, and I really, really enjoyed it. I thought it was, fun. Definitely at times kinda cheesy, and some of the characters were a little annoying after a while, but, um, yeah, I really liked it. I thought it was fun. It's also only, like it felt very, like, short, which is 90 I mean, it's a solid 90 minutes, and so, it's very effective with that time, but let's see, and then on or yesterday, hours of yesterday, I rewatched the movie Terrifier. Um, Now I've seen this movie once before, and so, what I'm about to talk about will make sense, but I wanted to watch this again, and, so I sat down and watched the film. Very this is I would kind of, like, forgot how effective this movie was for its low budget and also its, um, like, I don't know, like, how effective it is for its, like, how small of a production. There's less than 20 people, in this movie, and it's very, very efficient with how it's, uses its locations, um, but yeah, I really like this. I need to rewatch, All Hallows Eve, but yeah, I watched, Terrifier on Blu-ray, but then, I decided to go to the theater, yesterday and do a double feature of Terrifier 2 and Terrifier 3. And so I watched both films back to back, which I was very happy that I did because I feel like it helps the story. And I'm glad that I watched the first film as well. But Terrifier 3, or I should say Terrifier 2 was reminded of how great it was. I'm a big fan of Terrifier 2. I thought it was like such a fun movie. I mean, I have the VHS tape right here of Terrifier 2, and yeah, this is a fun item in my collection. And I kind of wish that I think a Screambox put this out. I wish that Screambox would put out more horror VHS at Walmart because that's where I got that one. Because I would definitely be buying up newer horror movies on VHS. I feel like that'd be really cool to have in the collection. But um, Terrifier 3 was there was a sign on the door for if you feel like sick or something, go see an employee or something. But wow, what a what an experience that film is. It's a very yeah, I don't even know how to describe it. It's a lot. I would say if you didn't like Terrifier 2 because of the gore or the violence, um, I'd say probably stay away from Terrifier 3. I don't think it's as bad as what people were making it out to be. I feel like with like the media was just like saying, like, I saw like a few little review stuff, and they were saying how like Terrifier 3 will, like, it's worse than the worst part, like the first 10 minutes is the like worse than the worst parts of Terrifier 2 and stuff like that. Um I thought it was still like pretty, I don't know. I feel like he pretty much like didn't stay within any boundaries. He's kind of just, you know, there's really no rules to the movie, which I really like. And so I definitely think it might be too much for some people. But I personally really liked it. I thought it was a interesting film. But moving on to the last movie that I watched. Let's see. First one is weird for me. I like it, but Terrifier 1, there's no plot in my opinion. Yeah, I feel like that is the um what is it called? The only downside to Terrifier 1, where there really isn't really much of a plot. It's such a I mean, it's more about the Art the clown and the kills, and I feel like the plot is paper thin. But I mean, I'd say overall I like the series. I feel like it's a fun, like, it's kinda wild that we're seeing this type of film being like, especially like Terrifier 3, that type of film being made in 2024, because it feels like it should be made in, like, the 70s, in terms of, like, excess violence and, um, I don't know. It just felt very, like, gruesome for a modern day movie. I'm honestly kinda surprised that they were able to, like, make that type of movie in this day and age, but, overall, I enjoyed it. I thought it was interesting. Um, YouTubers I watched review a 4K collection. Didn't know what they had with art. Sounds like trash. Yes, I understand, like, um, yeah, it's definitely, let me grab a coffee sip. It's definitely, like, not for everyone. I'd say the series is definitely not for everyone. Um, it kinda like, I'm having a hard time describing it. Um, I would say if you're into more, like, gritty, like, uh, not necessarily, like, story-driven films, I'd say, like, more exploitation-y types of films, I'd say the Terrifier series would probably be for you. But if you're looking more for, like, story-driven type of movies, um, see, it sounds like gore for the sake of gore. I would say in some ways, yes. In some ways, I'd say, especially the third film, there were a few sequences that I really think it's going to turn a lot of people off on it. Um, and there was a few sequences when I was watching it where I felt like it, like, maybe I don't want to say it went too far because I think that's the point of the film. Um, because, I mean, I mean, I don't know. I've seen some stuff that's like I know it's just like trying to be shocking for the sake of shocking, which I'm not a huge fan of that type of movie, but, um, it wasn't the most shocking movie I've ever seen, I guess, I'll put it like that. But it was definitely probably it's definitely not for everyone, I'll say that. Um, but the next film on my watch list, I watched this actually last night when I got home. And this is a movie that, I know people on this live stream, at least, in the past, have said to skip this one because it's not good. But that was, Leprechaun Origins. Um, this movie is might be one of the worst, one of the worst, like, sequels or prequels or types of movies like that, that I've seen. This is pretty bad. It was a pretty rough film. And not even in an enjoyable way, it was just not good. Um, and, I mean, overall, I was just not I don't know, it just wasn't good at all. Um, I just feel like, first off, the Leprechaun series, isn't, like, my favorite series of all time to begin with, so it's not like I don't know. I feel like the character of Leprechaun, he's, like, supposed to be, like, kind of, cracking jokes and kind of, like, being, like, sarcastic and, his whole character is supposed to be kind of, like, fun, almost like a Freddy Krueger or, like, a Chucky type of character where it's, kinda more playful, but also kinda scary, like, in that way. Um, but this film, Leprechaun Origins, the leprechaun doesn't talk at all throughout the entire film, and, it's more of just like a creature, um, and he is just like you could pretty much replace the leprechaun with any creature from any creature feature, and it wouldn't change at all, and yeah, overall, I thought it was just actually just one of the worst things. Definitely by far my least favorite Leprechaun movie I've seen so far. There's only one other one that I have not seen yet, but um, yeah, it was just bad. I found myself bored, extremely bored. See, I told you, I warned you about Leprechaun. It's not even Leprechaun film. The actor who played the Leprechaun is in Ring, which was being one. Let's see. He was a WWE wrestler back then. Gotcha, gotcha. Um, yeah, I was really not even like because I went in with very low expectations with this one. Um, but I'm glad that I just watched this, um, now just to be able to say that I've watched it. I'll probably never watch it again. Um, but it was bad. It was not a good time at all. Let's see, I'm watching Singles, 1993. I don't think I've seen that. Singles. I'm trying to think if I've seen that or not. I'm also trying to see if I own it. I don't think I've seen that, but I think I know what movie you're talking about, if I'm not mistaken. But um, I'll have to check it out. Um, but yes, that is everything that I've watched over the last week or so. Um, and it is, I've just been watching a ton of horror films, which is always fun because horror is my favorite genre, and so I'm able to, use this time of the year just to be watching as much as I can. And so tonight's film is Victor Crowley, um, which is the technically, I think it's the prequel to the Hatchet series. I think it's a prequel. Um, Not 100% sure, but um, yeah. Let's see. I just rewatched The Dark Knight. I got such a new love for it. I didn't know it was possible or it's honestly a perfect film, except they just arrest Harvey as Batman with no proof. Joker is so good. Yes, I feel like I saw Dark Knight in theaters. Now that I think about it, I cannot remember for the life of me if I've seen it in theaters or not. Um, but yeah, I absolutely love The Dark Knight. I think it is it's just one of those movies that is so good. Like it's every piece of it is just so good, and it really just um pulls you into that story and into that world, and I really really like it. Um yeah, I even like learning the behind the scenes of some stuff, and it really is just a fantastic film that I need to revisit it soon because it's been a while since I've seen it. But um, because I think I have the 4K, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, I think I have 4K, but I need to watch it on 4K. Christian Bale, Morgan Freeman are great in it. Yes, Christian Bale is just one of those actors that I feel like any role that he plays is just absolutely fantastic. Um, but yeah, so that's everything that I watch. What are some things besides Singles and Dark Knight? What are some things that you guys are either currently watching or planning on watching, or um, I don't know, going to be watching in the next few days? Trying to think if there was anything um, interesting. Also, there was some kind of fun news in the physical media world where there was a an announcement recently, I believe by Umbrella Entertainment, putting out The Fall on 4K. So if you're not familiar with the movie The Fall, it is like a um, very like half the movie takes place in a hospital, and then the other half takes place in this like little girl's imagination, and it is a such a fantastic film. I absolutely love the movie. I think it's a very unique movie, but if I guess I have it right here. I'm just gonna um it is just one of those movies that I don't know. It's so colorful and artsy, and just has, like, so much going for it that I feel like people don't really talk about it all that much. So the only downside is this movie is, notoriously known for having a hard Blu-ray to find, and so if you find the Blu-ray, you're probably looking at, I don't know, $100 or so for the Blu-ray, and the DVD is pretty common. However, it's just I feel like the movie like this deserves to have like a 4K because it's so colorful and so um I don't know. It has so many like interesting sequences, and so I am very excited because Umbrella Entertainment announced that this will be getting a 4K sometime soon-ish, I think. Um, but if you've not seen the movie, I'd definitely find yourself a copy, or wait for the Umbrella Entertainment version because um, it would be worth seeing. I found this rare Batman Begins DVD. It came with a comic. Um, let's see, with it was Emotional Special Edition. I don't know, its 3D type cover is super or is so cool, to have the comic. It's not paper. Interesting. That's very interesting. Yeah, I don't know if I've, seen that, copy. I have all of the Dark Knight trilogy. I think I have the f Batman Begins on Steelbook, just a Blu-ray Steelbook, The Dark Knight on 4K, and then The Dark Knight Rises on just, like, the standard Blu-ray release. But then I also have it's like the gift set of the Dark Knight's trilogy where it has, like, the cars. It's like a kinda like a big rectangle. Um, but I need to get all of them on 4K because I do like those movies. They're fun. Uh Oh, did you see Jason X and others are getting 4K? I don't know what Friday films aren't on 4K, but they're making more on 4K. Would you get them? Yes, um so if you've watched my channel for a while, I'm a big Friday the 13th fan. I absolutely love that franchise. Um, I have almost all the different editions of the films. I have them on VHS, DVD, a couple laser discs. I would like to get more laser discs. And then I have Blu-ray, um, and I don't have any of the 4K yet. I know the first movie's on 4K, and the remake, the 2009 remake, is on 4K. And then semi recently, part two was announced or was released in like a box set on 4K, and I'm assuming that will get a individual 4K release eventually as well. Um, but if you want to get that box set, I think it's like one of the Paramount sets or whatever you have to get. It's like a green box, but that's a way you can get the second film on 4K. But yeah, I saw the Jason X. I think Jason X and Jason Goes to Hell were announced, if I'm not mistaken, on 4K. But I feel like those movies are the rights for them are, like, kinda all over the place. I wish Scream Factory would just get all of the rights and release all of them in the same way that they did the Halloween films on 4K, um, because I would for sure buy those. I think that would be such a cool, like, a cool thing to have is all the individual films on a 4K as well. I'm a big fan of the packaging for the Halloween, 4Ks. I kinda wish that Scream Factory would start, releasing more films in that packaging. I think it's really, um, I don't know, it's worth the money. But um, yeah, I'm trying to think. Yeah, I think the remake of Friday the 13th was released on 4K by Arrow Video, um, and I'm not sure who's releasing Jason X or Jason Goes to Hell. I'm not sure who's releasing those, but um, yeah, I really wish that we would also get. I mean, I guess we're getting Nightmare on Elm Street 1 on 4K, um, which I might have to pick that up as well. Um, but yeah, it's kind of seeing some of these older horror movies getting 4K releases finally. Because I definitely think there is a built-in market for that people just need to, actually be, actually start releasing some of these on 4K. But I feel old because Batman Begins is on the PS2. Oh, Batman Begins, the video game, is on PS2. That's how I feel about Star Wars Episode 3. There was a Star Wars Episode 3 video game that was released on the PS2 and original Xbox, and that makes me feel, really old because I saw Episode 3 in theaters, and that just I mean, it was 2006, or 2005 when it was released, I believe, so, um do you care enough to get Puppet Master 3 on 4K? Would you get it? LOL. Probably not. It's one of those films that was fun. I remember, like, because I still have the DVDs, and there's a Blu-ray box set I know out there for all the Puppet Master films. Um, but I've not even felt inclined to upgrade them to Blu-ray necessarily. I feel like in some ways, watching them on a lower resolution would be more beneficial because the higher resolution you go, like the more clear the picture's going to get, and then you're going to start seeing, different wires or unless they go in and digitally remove those, which I don't know if that might ruin the I don't know the nostalgic feeling of it. And I don't know. I feel like it's like um I don't know. I just feel like it's the Puppet Master films are so cheesy, but they're like um I don't know. So I probably will. I guess to answer your question, sorry, I lost my train of thought. To answer your question, I probably will not be getting the Puppet Master 3 on 4K. Um, when will you be getting another big Criterion haul? I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do one this year or not. And I've been thinking about it. I don't know if I will. I don't like there's definitely I have a list of Criterion I would like. And I especially this month I've been kind of slacking on watching Criterion. It's mainly because this month I'm focusing more on horror stuff, but um yeah, my list of Criterion is extremely long, and so I mean I have a ton of Criterion films to watch that I have not watched yet, and so um I don't know. My goal with this year was to at least own spine numbers 1 through 300, and I am 2 spine numbers away from completing that goal. Um, and so I just need to maybe the sale, I'll just buy those 2, but um, I don't know. I would love to do like huge haul where I, get 30 titles, but I don't know. So maybe this year I'll just do like in November I'll do a small Criterion haul because unfortunately too um, with November it's just you have Black Friday rolled in with that and there's just so much things coming out and it's a lot and so I don't know let's see I found Cujo today as well. Haven't seen that in forever. Heard or hard to find on DVD. And I left the garage 1 to 2 behind. Wait, and I left the Grudge. Sorry, I left the Grudge 1 and 2 behind. Is okay from what I remember. 2 and 3, and I hear are awful, but I feel like 2 is rare to find. I don't know. Yes. I'm trying to think. I have not actually, I don't think I own maybe. I have The Grudge 1 and 2. I have 2 on Steelbook, which is one of my earliest Steelbook purchases, and I have the first film, but I do not own the third one. I kind of thought I did, but I don't even think I've seen the third one. It's also been a very long time since I've seen either of these. Um, I remember them being okay. And as far as Cujo goes, there was a special edition that I wish that I didn't pass up on of the film. I just have like one of the standard releases of it on DVD, but there was a special edition with like a slipcover, I believe, and um, I don't know. I wish I grabbed that when I saw it. Um, but I remember it being okay from what I remember. I mean, it's been a while since I've seen Cujo as well. But Let's see. Are you giving up on trying to collect them all? So many good releases this month and last. So no, no, I am. I'm definitely. My goal is to still own the complete Criterion collection. Um, so every year, basically, what I am doing, I am focusing. I'm really just honing in on like the next 100 spy numbers, and so within that year, I try to collect 100 titles that I am missing in the collection. And so this year was from spy numbers 200 to 300, and so, just trying to fill in any of those holes that I was missing. And so next year it'll be from spine numbers 300 to 400 and filling in any holes that I was missing within that. Um, and so uh I try to stay away from like newer releases with when it comes to Criterion, unless if it's a film I really want to see. The reasoning is that I just like I don't wanna just keep buying up just the newest releases and then forget about the older stuff. I'd rather take that money and buy up more of the older stuff and, keep working my way down to the newest spy numbers, if that makes sense. But, yeah, because like, I mean, I think it was, like, last year I bought After Hours because it was one that I wanted to own and, stuff like that. But and, like, this year, maybe, like, one of the things on my list is, like, Gummo because I have not seen Gummo, but I really would like to. So I might pick that one up, maybe a couple other ones, I don't know. I'll have to see, but yeah. Let's see. I'm kind of far behind in the comments, I apologize. How often have you seen Criterion in the wild, like thrift stores, etc.? And have you bought one for dirt cheap in the wild? Hmm, I'm trying to think. So I don't usually see them in the wild that often. Um, the closest thing I would say is like at an exchange. I see them because they have a Criterion section at the exchange, or like a half price books, which are just two movie stores. Um, And so or like at the Retro Attic, sometimes he has Criterion. But yeah, at thrift stores, I almost never see them, unless if it's like a very, very common title, whether that's like, Chasing Amy or The Life Aquatic or, stuff like that. Um, but I almost never see them in the wild, which is kind of unfortunate because, I would that'd be fantastic. And the cheapest Criterion I think I've ever picked up was probably hmm. I got one like for I think it was like $3. It was like a Blu-ray for $3. Um and that was just at a garage sale, but um yeah, I think that's the cheapest like good deal I've ever come across. But let's see. Any tips on where is the best time to buy new Criterion releases? I want to get um Teenage Apocalypse Trilogy and Gummo, but they're so expensive, even currently on sale. Yes, so best time of the year, in my opinion, is July and November. Um, if you are in the US, Barnes and Noble holds a sale every July and November where it's usually for the whole month. Sometimes it's like it shifts just depending on how many days of like sometimes it starts like on the third or whatever and it goes a little bit into the next month. But more or less it's for the entire month of July and the entire month of November. Everything is 50% off. Now at full price retail, it is like for a standard Blu-ray is $40, so 50% off is 20. Um, so they're still pretty expensive for, even at half off. Um, that is probably when I buy the most is at those prices of $20 versus like the $40. Um, Criterion usually has them at 30% off most of the time on their website. So unless if it's like I always say, it's like unless if it's a movie that you really, really, really want to see right now, I'd say just wait for one of the sales. Criterion also does flash sales. I think October is one of the months where it's like a 24-hour flash sale, and I'm trying to think, March, April? I forget when the other flash sale is, but February. Yeah, I maybe Googled that because I feel like it changes from month like sometimes from year to year. But yeah, they do like 24-hour flash sales. The nice thing with that, excuse me. The nice thing with that is with the flash sales, you earn points. So if you spend like $500, you get 50 bucks back or something. Um, so there is a way for you to like kind of get free movies that way. Um, but I would say definitely best time of the year is those July or November Criterion sale or the Barnes and Noble sales. And I would say if you are able to, go in store to purchase them. For one, you're going to be saving money on shipping. Sometimes the tax is a little bit higher depending on where you live. So it's like you might be spending a couple dollars more on tax in store versus shipping. Without shipping included, just if you get free shipping. But I would say it is always like worth doing in store, like purchase them in store. For one, you can see if the discs are loose in the case. You can like kind of like shake it a little bit here if there's like a disc loose. Um, but for two, I would say if like one of the sad things that is happening with Barnes and Noble is that they are um, kind of like excuse me, sorry. They are stopping like to carrying they're stopped carrying Criterion within the store. And I think it's like part of it is just a like either square footage problem or they're just not seeing the return on investment in store. But if you're able to, I would say I would highly recommend going in person just because it's like support a brick and mortar store to carry this stuff. Like show Barnes and Noble that um you are interested in buying them in store because if it's all online, like, and for one, I don't think it's as fun. But two, like, I mean, because like if you're in store, you can like start looking through everything, and I always tend to buy more when I'm in store because I start seeing other titles that I was might have forgot about. So, um, but yeah, I also just think it's important to have it so you can actually physically go somewhere to purchase them. I think that's a very important thing that you know Barnes and Noble isn't necessarily considering. So that's my little sorry that took so long, but that was my little spiel for Criterion and when to buy them. Um, also left this two-disc Texas Chainsaw older looking DVD by Dark Sky Films. I left it. It wasn't the best condition, but cool. It was $6, but left it. I don't know if you know the one I'm talking about. Yes, two-disc edition of Texas Chainsaw. I'm assuming you said by Dark Sky. I just have to sneeze again. Ugh. Excuse me. I'm sorry. I'm assuming it's one of these two. Um, these are both put out by Dark Sky, and I believe they're both two disc. Yeah, this is the two disc steelbook, and this is I believe it's also two disc maybe. Oh no, this is four disc. I'm sorry. Yeah, this is the four disc um, Blu-ray. It's the gold one. Yes, the two disc steelbook edition of the film is. I really like these. Um, I feel like it's definitely an older DVD release, but um, yeah. Um, some let's see, was some special edition. Last question. Sorry, I spammed a lot tonight. None of my friends get physical media like us. Oh no, you're good. You're good. I really don't mind. You can ask as many questions as you want. Um, but see. After Hours is one of the greatest movies ever made, and Gummo is so good. Yes, I really enjoyed After Hours. It was like such a frustrating movie, but I really liked it, and I'm excited to watch Gummo whenever if I can grab a copy of it this year. Sorry guys, I'm like getting over like a head cold still. Um, it's been a couple of weeks, so I'm like still throat gets really dry really quick. So I apologize for that. Um, let's see. I even comment on or to goodness. I if ever comment too much, please tell me to stop because I could go on for hours. Oh no, you're good, man. I literally it's fine. I love interacting with you guys on this. It's so fun. Um, but I will probably wrap this up shortly because it has been about an hour, and excuse me, that yeah. Again, I'm still getting over a cold, and so my um, yep, words. What's your least favorite Christopher Nolan film? Uh, like worst one? Um, that's a great question. I'd probably say Insomnia if I had to pick one. Um, I thought it was like okay. Now Insomnia, his version of Insomnia is technically a remake of the film from '97, which is in the Criterion Collection, and this is a, Swedish or Norwegian film. It's either Norwegian or Swedish or both. I don't know. But I really really liked this movie. This is the original '97 version. And I feel like compared like if you had to compare the two, this is in my opinion a stronger film. Um but yeah, I mean I liked Insomnia. I thought it was fine. Um but probably not my favorite Christopher Nolan film. Um Yes, Inception is a lot, and I need to rewatch Inception. It's been a while since I've actually seen it, but I um I need to rewatch it. It's I remember it being very confusing, but I also really like confusing movies. I like ones that make you think and question a lot and think about the film for hours after you see it. Um, but yeah, let's see. Out of the mainline Nightmare on Elm Street movies in the '80s, which is your favorite and your least favorite? Ooh, that's a great question. I'm trying to think. So I really like the original. And I know that's kind of cliched, but like I really enjoyed the Nightmare, like just the first. I'm not like a huge fan of the whole series. Despite my shirt wearing tonight. Um, I it's not my favorite, like, big, like, '80s, like, icons. I like them, it's just I personally prefer Friday the 13th series way more, I don't know why, I just, um and, I'd say least favorite, I might say Wes Craven's New Nightmare. I don't know if that counts because it's not like it's like the last one, but I just I don't know. I feel like it got a little too meta in that film, which is actually my film that I'll be watching this month of the Nightmare on Elm Street series. Um, yeah, I really liked Nightmare on Elm Street 3 though. I thought that was fantastic. Um, I need to revisit some of them. It's been a while since I've seen like 4 and 5 and Freddy's Dead. I definitely out of all of them, I've seen the first 3 probably the most. Um, so But I'm out of questions. LOL. I loved the live like Friday night. I like Friday night lives. Okay, sweet. So I'm gonna say this Friday 13th got me into horror, but I don't even care that much for the first one. And honestly, Jason hasn't grown on or on me like Michael and Freddy and Ghostface. I don't know why. Yeah, it is. I think Friday 13th was like one of those series that um I remember just watching a lot when I was younger, and that was kinda like one of the first, like, franchise that I really got into was the Friday 13th series, um, and I think it's just, like, after a while, like, I'm not, like, a huge like, fan of the first Friday the 13th, I really like the sequels, which out of all of them, like, Jason Takes Manhattan is just such a fun movie, like, a lot of people would disagree with me, but I, um I personally really like all the Friday 13s because I feel like at a certain point, they knew exactly what they had, and they just ran with it and just, like, had fun, and they didn't, like, care really all that much about if it was, like if it made sense or, if it was just, like, cheesy or whatever, they just kinda had fun with the series, which I think that's why I like the whole Friday 13th series so much, but, like, that's the movie that turned me into this horror nerd, like, I'll always thank, it for the bet or for that, um, but the movies that everyone, goodness, I cannot read. But the movies that get everyone into horror, I hear it's their favorite, but Friday the 13th one isn't mine. Yeah, yeah, I definitely, I think a lot of people like that first Friday the 13th, but like, I don't know. I think probably out of the whole series, of my favorite Friday movie would probably be like, I mean, I might say Jason Takes Manhattan as cheesy as it is, I don't know. I really enjoy that movie because I think it's so fun to see Jason just walking around Manhattan. But um, let's see. This month, I'm going through all the Friday 13th series in chronological order. Which one should I look out for being the most fun and campy? Um, I don't know because I don't want to set your expectations too high for part eight. Because you'll probably be disappointed. But for whatever reason, I really like part eight. Part seven is interesting. It takes a turn, like kind of takes without giving anything away, I guess. It takes the character into an interesting direction. Um, part five is also interesting, but like it's like I don't know. It's not what I was expecting at all for part five, and part four is just like I feel like it's kind of the end of it kind of like wraps a few things up. And I'm trying to think. I mean, part two is pretty good. I mean, I liked part two. But let's see. Let's see. Uh, but my favorite camp and my favorite Friday film is Seven. I will defend Seven till. Yeah, Seven is something else. Part one and two are good, and watched three the same, but a bit better. Hate 5 and 8. Haven't seen 9. Um, yeah, I definitely see like how people would hate like 5 and 8. Because five, like I feel like five is like a a fascinating film, but, like, not for a Friday the 13th movie. And I'm trying to think of the other ones. I also really liked part 3. Like, I don't know. Again, like, I'm just a huge Friday the 13th fan. Like, I love the series, but, like, I kind of like all the different movies for different reasons. And so I'm trying not to say anything to, like, spoil anything, if that makes sense. I don't know. I thought part 8 was like it kind of takes the characters not in the same setting, and so that's probably like why a lot of people don't like it because they kind of I don't know. But part 9 or Jason Goes to Hell, that's another it, like, takes the whole series in a completely different direction, and then part 10 or Jason X, that also takes it in a different direction. Um, but I love Freddy versus Jason. That movie is just, like I love how gritty the movie feels. And I also really like the remake. I thought it was fun. But it's kind of a disappointment that we don't have more Friday the 13th movies because I definitely think that's a character that they should try and make more movies for because um, I don't know. It's um, it's a fun series. I like bad, trashy 80s horror. My expectations don't care. Yeah, I would say, I mean, yeah, I'm just a big fan of part 8, which I know a lot. I'm in the minority with it, but um, yeah, that's just it might be one of my favorites. Let's see, I love Jason X for what it is. That's your answer for camp. Yeah, I would agree with that. Jason X is um, definitely cheesy. Has a cameo by David Cronenberg, which is fun. Um, Part 5 is legit made by an adult film director. It is most yeah, that is another thing. Part 5 doesn't feel like it feels like it shouldn't even be part of the series. It feels like it could be a completely different like series altogether. Um, it almost feels like it was written for a different series and they just like slapped like Jason into it. Um, kind of, but it's kind of it reminds me of like the sequels to Hellraiser, where some of them were completely different movies, but then they decided to throw in Pinhead and make it a Hellraiser movie at the last minute, and so it kind of feels almost disconnected. But um, let's see, have you seen the Friday fan films? Never Hike Alone. It's free on YouTube. Um, it's got its own weird little following. So yes, actually, so I actually at the Retro Attic. Last time I was there, he had both fan films on Blu-ray, which are pretty rare, actually. $45 a piece on them. And that was it was tempting because I mean I looked them up. They are free on YouTube. Um, and it's kind of a weird like fun idea that like just fan films in general. Although I don't really collect fan films, and so that's why I didn't grab them. Is because it's not really like an official release. Like there's a few different items that I'll buy. Like I mean, it's an official release, but it's not like a film. Like it's not an official film. Um, so I've not actually sat through and watched all of the fan films, but I should sometime because it does seem like it's like a um fun concept for something. But um yes, so I will probably end the live stream here, just because I've been talking for like an hour and 20 minutes. Um, but let's see, Halloween Resurrection was the same. They added Michael Myers last minute. It's weird to think Weinstein's made part of Six, H2O, and Resurrection. Yeah, I think that's why I'm not a huge like this I should say this Halloween I'll be watching Halloween H2O because throughout the Halloweens I've just been basically working like rewatching the whole series but kind of working my way through the series again and so this year I'll be watching H2O and then next year I'll be doing Resurrection but um yeah I feel like Halloween 6 has kind of like its own following in a way. And I mean, I like Halloween 6. I think it's fun. I think I want to say I watched the producer's cut recently, which I really liked, and I have not watched Halloween H2O in a while, so I'm curious how that's going to go. But Resurrection, I remember not liking at all, even the one time I watched it. But at least I think I watched it at least. I mean, I watched it definitely at least once. Maybe I watched it twice, um, but yeah, I've been talking for about an hour and 20 minutes, so I'm gonna wrap it up here because my throat is killing me. But yeah, I hope everybody out there um, has a great week. Um, let's see, I loved those or six was least watched and grew on me a lot this year. I'm excited to rewatch it. Also, I love Paul Rudd in it. Oh, good night. Thanks for a good stream. Yes, thank you for all your comments. I really do appreciate that. Again, this is my favorite part of this channel, just having a conversation with you guys and just talking about movies. Um, and again, if you are watching this on the playback, feel free to leave any comments on any topics that were discussed down below, and I will get back to you on those. But thank you to everybody that stopped in on this live stream and leaving comments and stuff. It's so fun. Um, but expect another live stream probably either Friday or Sunday. I'm not sure yet. So either a week from now or maybe week in a couple days, but we will see. But just keep an eye on Instagram. That's where I will update usually 24 hours in advance when I'm going to be doing a live stream. And yeah, so I think that's everything. But thank you guys again so much for this live stream. It's always so fun. But I will talk to you guys later. Take care, guys.